algebra 11 is actually not so, the concept you're very well aware of. The math, the algebra that's going to go with it is what's a little bit challenging, and that's why I'm doing a video for this one. So we're looking for the value of AC. So it's this right here. So we know that, we do know this. We know that AC times AB equals EA times DA. Okay, so that's what we're going to set up. We're going to set that up first. So I'm going to say 3 times the square root of 3 minus 5 times the quantity 3 plus the square root of 3 is equal to 1 plus the square root of 3 times AC. All right, so now we're going to have to FOIL this thing. Okay, so on this one here, we're going to take our first terms. Okay, so that gives us 9 times the square root of 3. Then we're going to take our last terms. Okay, so we're going to take this times this. Now square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9, so that gives us plus 9. Okay, and then we take, nice and easy one, 5 times 3. So negative 15 goes here. And then here we have negative 5 times the square root of 3. Okay, that could have been worse. Now, do you see that we can add these two together? That gives us 4 times the square root of 3 minus 6. Does everybody see that? All right, I've just added my like terms here. Equals 1 plus the square root of 3, okay, times AC. Well, now we need to get AC by itself, so we need to divide both sides by this big mess right here. So we need to divide this by 1 plus the square root of 3 as well. Now here's the deal, people, and I don't know that we've actually really done any lessons about this, so this is why you need to tune in very carefully. All right, so I'm going to rewrite this solution for AC. We know that this AC is equal to all of this that I'm writing down right now. 4 times the square root of 3 minus 6, and then 1 plus the square root of 3. But here is the deal. You are not allowed to have a radical in the denominator. Now, I think you already know that about rationalizing denominators. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. You already know about rationalizing denominators, but what you may not know is how to rationalize a denominator when there's a plus sign in there, okay? We're gonna multiply by something very special. It's called the conjugate. Okay, so we have 1 minus the square root of 3, 1 minus the square root of 3. Perfect, right? Okay, remember, we're allowed to multiply by anything that equals 1. Well, can you see that what I have in blue here does equal 1? Maybe it looks purple to you, I don't know. But at any rate, we're allowed to multiply by 1. But here's where it gets kind of cumbersome. We're going to have a bunch of multiplying to do. We have to multiply all of this times all of this. Then we have to multiply all of this times all of this. Tedious. Okay, so stick with me here. Foiling, right? Okay, so here we have, let's do the denominator first. We have 1 times 1, 1. And then we have 1 times negative square root of 3. That gives us negative square root of 3. Then here we have positive square root of 3. Okay, perfect, huh? And then here we have positive square root of 3 times negative square root of 3, which gives us negative 3, right? Okay, so let's go to the next one. Here we have 4 times the square root of 3 times 1. Well, that's just 4 times the square root of 3, right? So you see how we did this? Okay, then we're going to take, let's go to this next. So here we have 4, and square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. So this is all going to be negative 12. All right, next we're ready for these. Negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. And then here we have negative 6 times negative square root of 3. So that gives us positive 6 times the square root of 3. All right. Goodness, people, this is taking a while, isn't it? All right, well, stick with me. We're almost there. Okay, so I want you to see this. Do you see that these are inverses of each other? There's an understood one here and there's an understood one here. When you add those two together, you get 0. So technically here in the denominator, we have 1 minus 3. That gives us negative 2 in the denominator, okay? Now let's add our like terms here in the numerator. We get negative 12 and negative 16. That's negative 18. Here we add these two together, we get 10. Because we're adding our like terms, right? Square root of 3 and square root of 3 are like terms, so we can add 4 plus 6, we get plus 10 times the square root of 3. Well, look at this. This is divisible by negative 2, this is divisible by negative 2, and this is divisible by negative 2. So let's do that. Let's divide everything by negative 2. Essentially, what we're doing is we're factoring a negative 2 out of the numerator and a negative 2 out of the denominator. When that happens, that leaves me with 9 and negative 5 times the square root of 3, and then so this is what we're doing, people. It's like we're taking negative 2, divided by negative 2, dividing by -2, and dividing by -2, okay? That format is not very good here, but that will help you to see how I got a 9, how I got a -5 times the square root of 3, and how I got an understood 1 in the denominator, which means that my answer is just 9 minus 5 times the square root of 3. Right? I told you it was going to be daunting, so if you stuck with me to the end, you should probably go have a piece of chocolate to celebrate, okay?